Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Charlene Israel. The world is waking up today to a new tragedy, a fertilizer plant explosion near Waco, Texas. So powerful it leveled buildings for blocks in every direction. Officials say more than 160 people are injured, and as of now, at least 5 people are dead. But it will be a long time before they know the full extent of the loss of life. The explosion sent flames shooting into the sky and burning embers, shrapnel, and debris raining down on unsuspecting residents. The blast could be heard and felt dozens of miles away. So strong it registered as an earthquake.
There's a giant force of pressure just pushing me back. And there's shrapnel flying everywhere from the explosion. I've been stopped shaking up since the whole thing happened. I mean, that's probably the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
The force of the explosion leveled as many as 100 homes and businesses around the plant. One city official describing a 4-block area around the plant as being, quote, totally decimated.
It's devastating. Our house is destroyed. I was standing outside on the street watching the flames when the explosion hit. Felt like the whole road just picked up.
Firefighters responded to a call at the plant around 6 p.m. and began fighting a fire. The blast followed about 50 minutes later. Some of the firefighters are still unaccounted for. The city's mayor told reporters that the residents of West need their prayers.
It's probably the major and most devastating thing that's happened to this community. It's just a big old cut that we got across our heart.
Concerns about possible chemicals led authorities to evacuate residents and make a makeshift triage center. A large investigation team from the U.S. Chemical Safety Board is on the way. The explosion comes as the nation remains on edge after this week's bombings at the Boston Marathon. Officials believe this was likely just an industrial accident. The plant was investigated by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality back in 2006. It was cited for failing to get or qualify for a permit. A possible break in the Boston Marathon bombing case, investigators have spotted a suspect from security video taken before the deadly blasts. The discovery of the image was found on surveillance footage from outside of a Lord & Taylor department store near the finish line of the race. The footage shows a man reportedly talking on a cell phone and carrying a black bag strapped across his chest, then possibly leaving that bag at the scene. The suspect in the video has not been identified.
Before they make any arrests, they're going to have the case pretty much, the evidence will be there. They're going to be able to really put this on somebody. They're not going to rush to judgment on this.
Meanwhile, no one has claimed responsibility for that attack. Dozens of the Boston bombing victims have been released from the hospital, but at least 14 of them remain in critical condition. The attack killed 3 and injured 176 near the finish line of the race. Some of the wounded have suffered traumatic limb amputations, but Dr. Ben Carson of Johns Hopkins Hospital says the death toll could have been a lot worse.
The fortunate thing is, it happened toward the end of the marathon when you had a lot of medical people available to take care of the exhausted people. So they simply shifted what they were doing. And so it really, I think, probably is the reason that the death toll was as low as it was.
3 of the hospitals treating the seriously wounded expect all of their patients to survive. A Mississippi man is in custody today, accused of sending letters that tested positive for the poison ricin to President Obama and Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker. Authorities arrested 45-year-old Paul Kevin Curtis at his apartment in Corinth near the Tennessee state line. Curtis reportedly believes the government has been trying to ruin his reputation because he uncovered a plot to sell human body parts on the black market. Authorities say similar letters were sent to a county court in Tupelo earlier this month. Senate Democrats have failed in their bid to pass new gun control measures. They were trying to create tighter background checks, ban assault weapons, and ban large-capacity magazines. President Obama tried to blame Republicans as he surrounded himself with families of the Newtown massacre victims.
So all in all, this was a pretty shameful day for Washington. A few minutes ago, a minority in the United States Senate decided it wasn't worth it. They blocked common sense gun reforms, even while these families looked on from the Senate gallery.
Expanded background checks wouldn't have saved our loved ones, but still we came to support a bipartisan proposal from two senators, both with A ratings from the NRA.
This is a slippery slope of compromising the Second Amendment, and you go down that road, you're going to find it easier to compromise other things in the Bill of Rights.
President Obama said his administration will take steps on its own without Congress. Today is Tax Freedom Day. It marks the point when Americans have earned enough money to pay for their taxes for this year. This day comes later than last year because Americans are paying even more in taxes. Jennifer Wishon has that story.
Americans will pay more in taxes this year than they will on food, housing, and clothing. According to the Tax Foundation, Americans will spend more than 29% of their incomes on the various taxes they'll pay in 2013.
So we're paying more in taxes, we're spending more. This is not the direction we're supposed to be going. This is not what the founders intended or envisioned. We are not getting our money's worth.
This year, Americans will pay more than $2.75 trillion just in federal taxes. But the Tax Foundation points out that even that's not enough to pay for all of Washington's spending. It would cost an additional $833 billion in taxes to cover the federal deficit. Americans will also pay $1.5 trillion in state taxes. It all adds up to a total of $422 billion. And some political leaders say that's not enough.
The Washington myth is, let's find another revenue stream. No, stop spending. So we can roll back a whole lot in Washington. If we went back to pre-Obama era levels, that's $2.7 trillion. That's an awful lot of money. By the way, that's also what we're collecting in taxes this year, which means the entire federal debt would go away, and that would square everybody. So we could start with that.
More than 3.5 months into the year, Americans can finally start keeping the money they earn. Tax Freedom Day comes 5 days later than last year. That's because Washington has added still more taxes. They include
the fiscal cliff deal, which raised income taxes and payroll taxes, Obamacare, which raised investment taxes and enacted a medical excise tax.
And don't think it's going to get any better, because many analysts believe still higher taxes are in your future, even though most Americans don't think Washington needs any more tax money. So expect Tax Freedom Day to come later and later in the years ahead. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
A high-ranking Senate Democrat who supported President Obama's health care overhaul now says it's a disaster in the making. Senate Finance Committee Chairman Max Baucus grilled Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius at a Senate budget hearing Wednesday. Baucus cited concerns that new health insurance marketplaces for small businesses and consumers won't be ready in time in every state. They're supposed to be up and running next year. He also said consumers don't have the information they need to make good choices. I just see a huge train wreck coming down, Baucus said. Sebelius says implementation of the exchanges is on track. She also blamed congressional Republicans for hampering progress by denying funds for Obamacare. Republicans are once again criticizing one of President Obama's cabinet nominees. In a new report, GOP lawmakers accuse Labor Secretary nominee Thomas Perez of misusing power during his time as head of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. They cited a case last year when Perez persuaded the city of St. Paul, Minnesota, to withdraw a housing discrimination case before it could be heard by the Supreme Court. Perez's confirmation hearing begins today. Coming up, they were children abused on the mission field. Now survivors are turning to each other for healing. That story when we come back.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 US gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, You should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was. Help! And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes now.
North Dakota's Republican governor has signed a bill outlawing abortions after 20 weeks. It's based on research stating that's the point a fetus can feel pain. The law is meant to challenge Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court decision that legalized abortion up until viability. New Zealand's parliament has approved gay marriage, making it the 13th country in the world to do so and the first in the Asia-Pacific region. Lawmakers voted 77 to 44 in favor of the measure. Despite the move, many people in New Zealand remain adamantly opposed to gay marriage, but some surveys indicate about 2/3 of the public supports it. This weekend in Chicago, a historic first-ever conference for survivors of abuse and trauma on the mission field. It's sponsored by a group called MK Safety Net, a group of alumni from a Christian and Missionary Alliance boarding school in West Africa. For more on this, Heather Sells spoke with Beverly Thompson, the president of MK Safety Net.
And Beverly, your group has worked on issues of abuse and trauma for many years now, seeking healing and justice for victims. Why did you decide to host this conference?
There are over 400,000 former MKs in the U.S. and Canada, and many others in Europe and Asian countries. And most of us have lived in a great deal of isolation, believing that we are the only ones who experienced the kinds of abuses that happened to us. With social media, that's changed, and many of us have made profound connections with one another. Now we want to actually take that one step further and meet in person to create supportive networks with one another and move forward in terms of seeking justice.
All right, and just briefly, Beverly, give us some insight into the nature of the abuse that these missionary kids suffer that are now adults, and what the healing process looks like for them, given that this took place on the mission field of all places.
Most of us have what's called complex trauma, which involves a range of abuses. For example, abandonment was one of the characteristics that all of us grew up with, making it very difficult to trust anybody. Often MKs have been sexually abused, bullied. There's been severe physical abuse. And throughout the entire experience, we were hearing that God was in control and that this was all of part of his plan. So as we heal, we're dealing with different kinds of trauma that make it very complex in terms of the healing process.
And I know that justice is also a component of healing, and some mission organizations have publicly acknowledged that there was abuse that took place under their supervision. Others have not. In a nutshell, where do things stand? Like, how many reports of abuse have there been, and where are mission agencies at in working with these reports?
We know that people have reported to at least 34 mission agencies in terms of having been abused. There's a new acknowledgement and recognition that there has been systemic abuse in many schools and denominations overseas. However, the initial response has been to initiate internal investigations into those abuses. And what we are looking for are external, independent investigations so that there isn't a conflict of interest. We also are asking for audits to be done so that independent people can go in and ensure that the new policies and practices that are in place are actually being followed.
All right. Well, Beverly Thompson, our prayers are with you as you work towards healing this weekend. Thanks for your time right now.
Thank you.
Up next, it's called fly ash, and it floats in the air where these people live. So exactly what is fly ash, and is it a public health threat?
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
When you burn coal at power plants, it produces a byproduct known as fly ash. Many times the waste isn't properly stored and it can get out into surrounding areas. As Mark Martin found out, that can lead to serious health concerns.
December 22nd, 2008. The Tennessee Valley Authority's Kingston Fossil Plant suffers a major fly ash spill. The waste covered hundreds of acres west of Knoxville, resulting in the evacuation of a nearby residential area. It also damaged a natural gas line, disrupted power and transportation. In the aftermath, TVA ended up buying all 180 properties and 150 houses affected by the spill and recovery effort. Construction workers haul off the last remaining piles of fly ash from the 2008 spill. At that time, an earthen dike failed, releasing an estimated 5.4 million cubic yards of fly ash into 300 acres surrounding the Kingston Fossil Plant. The land received a big-time makeover. But what about the effects of the fly ash on the health of people and the environment? According to the TVA, it's not a problem.
We look to independent studies. They have determined in thousands and thousands of samples and in 2 studies that are public that there is no harm to human health as a result of the elements that are in coal ash. But I understand that people are worried and perhaps there's other issues and they need to check with their physician.
Tell that to worried residents living near fly ash impoundments in Pennsylvania. Sonny Markish lives in Laybell. The view from his yard is a massive dump site, complete with the rumble of large trucks hauling the ash. He showed CBN News a substance around his property that he says has been tested and proven to be fly ash.
This is in the back of the house, and you can see it's all over everywhere.
Sonny says he and his wife have battled cancer, and he has asthma.
I certainly don't believe that it is helping me, especially like when I come out here, my eyes begin to water. I can taste foul things, and I see dust that is coming from the dump up there.
The primary concern for residents of Labelle, Pennsylvania is what's called fugitive dust. They say because the fly ash is not contained properly, the wind blows it into their communities, coating their properties and affecting their health. Sonny's neighbors, Emma and Rudy Smith, tell CBN News they are both on kidney dialysis.
It ate the roof off of my home. So if it did that, what is it doing to the insides of my body? You know, breathing, I'm coughing, my eyes burn, I can't go outside and sit.
Emma's husband Rudy believes fly ash is at least partly to blame for the death of his friend, who was only 56 years old.
I want this community to be cleaned up. I'm tired of seeing my friends in this community died. My friend I used to work at the coal mine with, Mike Crosney, he died from cancer in the sinuses.
The nation's largest coal ash impoundment is about an hour and a half north of Labelle. Despite its massive size, it's known as Little Blue Run and sits on the Pennsylvania-West Virginia border. The fly ash is stored in this large body of water, and like the residents in Labelle, homeowners here say health issues are prevalent. Sabrina Mislevy tells CBN News she knows a lot of people who are sick, and she blames fly ash.
I'd say about 83 for sure. And I believe it's due, and it's all health problems, whether it's cancer or it's lung, simple sinus issues, asthma, which is lung, you know, skin rashes that are just appear for no reason.
Marcy Hughes lives near Little Blue Run. Doctors diagnosed her daughter with Hodgkin's disease, a cancer of the lymphatic system. Marcy believes fly ash is connected.
When we went to a physician in Pittsburgh, he asked us point blank what were we doing in Beaver County, because at the same time she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's, there were several other.
A September 2010 report by Physicians for Social Responsibility and Earth Justice states, quote, coal ash commonly contains some of the world's deadliest toxic metals: arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium, chromium, and selenium. These and other toxicants in coal ash can cause cancer and neurological damage in humans. The report goes on to say coal ash toxics have the potential to injure all of the major organ systems, damage physical health and development, and even contribute to mortality. Lisa Graves Marcusi works for the Environmental Integrity Project. She's an advocate for the people living near Labelle and Little Blue Run.
And as someone who has visited and really spent lots of time with folks in these neighborhoods who are living near these sites, there seems to be a pattern that develops that makes you wonder, is there a correlation between? And I think at this point we don't know, but I think we should be erring on the side of caution and putting in safety mechanisms that really are common sense so that we can protect human health.
Marcusi and others want the EPA to establish federal minimum standards for all 50 states to protect the health of people and the environment, standards that the states would enforce. They include lining fly ash dumps as well as covering them daily, putting tarps over the trucks that haul the ash, full disclosure of pollutants in the ash, rules to control fugitive dust, the phasing out of wet storage ponds like Little Blue Run, and continuous monitoring at the dump sites.
And we need to say that maybe the cost of doing business includes healthy protections for everyone, workers and people who share the fence line.
The Environmental Protection Agency officially considers fly ash non-hazardous waste. Even so, its website acknowledges fly ash contains, quote, contaminants like mercury, cadmium, and arsenic associated with cancer and various other serious health effects. The website goes on to say EPA's risk assessment and damage cases demonstrate that without proper protections, these contaminants can leach into groundwater and often migrate to drinking water sources, posing public significant health concerns. In addition, in a written statement to CBN News, the EPA said fly ash is composed of very small, fine particles, and breathing in fly ash may cause respiratory problems in humans.
It's coming on my property, harming me and my wife, plus my neighbors, plus my dogs. I've lost 4 or 5 dogs to cancer. You know, it's just not right.
Mark Martin, CBN News, Tennessee and Pennsylvania.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new Grip Go, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and Grip Go grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of Grip Go. You can get the amazing Grip Go with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete Grip Go systems for just $14.95.
To order Grip Go for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? $60? $40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Finally, the director of CBN in Laos is being honored for her work to improve health care in the country. Jillian Chong has raised more than $564,000, and she has aided in digging fresh water wells and working on the Sanitary Healthy Model Village. Because of her work, the Laos Director of Health presented Chong with the Medal of Labor Award. CBN's aim in Laos is to provide villagers with clean water and basic sanitation facilities. Our congratulations to Jillian. That's all for now on the CBN News Channel. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Tell us what you think about the stories you've seen today on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you join us next time. Have a great day. God bless.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957. Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.